Thomas Clemens. Mr. Clemens is here with his lawyer, Mr. Timothy George. Also present is Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Joshua Robert. Mr. Clemens, the allegation in this case is that on January 10th, just the start of this year, that you assaulted Kevin Penn, a deputy with the Sheriff's Department. That's commonly known as resisting obstructing a police officer. It's punishable by up to 2 years in prison and a fine of up to $2,000. Prosecutor's office, through Prosecutor Robert, has agreed to reduce that to a misdemeanor charge of attempting to resist or obstruct a police officer. That's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. And as I said, is a misdemeanor rather than a felony. Is that correct, Mr. Robert?
That's correct.
Mr. George, you agree?
Your Honor, I believe that this was going to be a disturbing the peace.
Oh, it's
That
going.
is correct.
Oh, I think it was. It was attempt art, and now it's disturbing the peace.
That's
Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm looking at, make sure I didn't, not crazy. Still in discussion. It was attempt art. All right. Disturbing the peace is even less. Disturbing the peace is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. It's an old-fashioned, simple 90-day misdemeanor. Let me make a better note. All right, now you've signed your advice of rights here. Thank you, Mr. George. You understand that by entering this plea, you're going to be giving up your right to have a trial.
Yes, sir.
Won't be a trial. All right, now Deputy Penn submitted an affidavit here that I had, or a bond information form. This took place in Colon on January 10th. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And the police came to your house on Swan Street.
Yes, sir.
You've been having some sort of argument with your wife, Kimberly.
Yes, sir.
Had you been drinking?
Very little, but yes, sir.
All right. Tell me what happened once the police got there.
I was very respectful to the police, and we were. He had asked me a few questions outside, and then he said he was going inside to talk to my wife. So I said okay, and then I went in with him. And then I was standing there while he was talking to my wife. She said we had argued all night, but we hadn't been arguing all night. It was just a part of the night. And I had made that comment. And basically he started going off on me about that. And then the other officer came on the scene and walked with me and her walked into the kitchen. And I was nice and respectful to her as well. And then once I found out they were waking my 2 autistic sons up to be taken out of the house, I became upset about it and started arguing.
Says he was yelling it into my face. I told him to back up. Kimberly backed out of the driveway. He acted like he was going to punch the window. She didn't stop to talk to him.
I never got into his face, actually.
I told him to leave me alone and stay back, but he walked up to my cruiser anyway. I got in my cruiser and he hit the hood of it multiple times and yelled at me. I guess that's sufficient for disturbing the peace. I backed into the roadway and walked out in front of my cruiser so I could not leave. I blew my air horn at him. That neighbors probably appreciated that. He wouldn't move. Finally, he asked you to move and you wouldn't, and then he put you under arrest. Is that about sum it up?
Well, I actually didn't hear him tell me to move, but you'll see in the video, like I actually go over to see what he's saying, put my hand up to my ear. And then as soon as I hear him tell me to move, I start to walk towards my house and he tells me it's too late, I'm under arrest. And he actually started to say a different charge before he said the R&O. The other officer came up and said R&O, and so that's the charge he went with.
All right. Well, I don't know about R&O, but there's certainly enough here for disturbing the peace.
I agree.
What's going on now?
in
with your wife and your kids and your household, and
we're all still together.
you were a .162 blood alcohol level, so you were 2 times the legal limit. And you've been minimizing what you said, so you were drunk. And that's why you acted so foolishly. Absent that, probably you wouldn't have acted like that. You certainly never act like that in here. So you spent a night in jail and then you posted bond.
Yes, when I went up to see the not the judge, but whoever
The magistrate.
Yeah. As soon as I came out of there, I told them that I had the money to bond myself out, and they said they couldn't bond me out with a debit card. So I sat in there for 12 hours, and then they finally realized that they could buy me out with a debit card. But yes, I did.
Are you back in your house on
Yes.
Swan Street?
Yes.
All right. Mr. O'Barry, you have any further input on this?
I think the court already has read between the lines on what was going on here. The defendant's history shows multiple prior alcohol-related convictions. And it seems like him being under the influence led him to be out of control on the state, creating that disturbance and escalating the situation to where he was arrested for R&Os.
I say this a lot. Ron White, the comedian, said when he got arrested when he was young, I had the right to remain silent, but I did not have the ability. Sometimes the best thing to do is just shut up. And at that particular time, you didn't have the ability. Mr. George, you wish to add anything?
No, I think this is an appropriate resolution to the case. I know that my client's eager to get this behind him. It's been weighing on him a lot. He's been in my office multiple times reviewing everything. And we do appreciate that the prosecutor is going to offer this charge as a resolution, as I believe it is appropriate under the circumstances.
Well, this is the type of case that presumes there will be no probation and no additional jail disturbing the peace. Whether we agree or don't, that's what the presumption under the law says. I'll give you 1 day in jail credit, 1 day, $100 fine, $125 state minimum costs. That's a $75.
What started as a domestic argument on Swan Street turned into a face-off with law enforcement that Joshua Clemens will not soon forget. On January 10th, police responded to a disturbance at the Clemens household, where Joshua had been drinking, registering a .162 blood alcohol level, twice the legal limit. What began as a cooperative interaction with deputies quickly unraveled once Clemens learned his 2 autistic sons were being removed from the home. Emotions boiled over. He confronted the officer, blocked a police cruiser, pounded on the hood, and refused to move, actions that landed him in handcuffs on a felony charge of assaulting, resisting, and obstructing a police officer. A charge carrying up to 2 years in prison. But the courtroom told a different story than the street did. Through negotiations, that felony was reduced not once, but twice, ultimately landing on a simple misdemeanor charge of disturbing the peace. The judge handed down 1 day in jail, credited as time served, a $100 fine, and court costs totaling $375. No probation, no additional jail time. The judge made it clear, alcohol was the accelerant here. With multiple prior alcohol-related convictions on his record, Clemens had a pattern, and the prosecutor did not let that go unnoticed. The judge himself pointed out that the officer likely went out of his way not to make an arrest, but Clemens had other ideas. As the court quoted comedian Ron White, he had the right to remain silent, but he did not have the ability. It is a case that reminds us all sometimes the biggest enemy in a courtroom situation is not the law. It is the choices we make before we ever get there. If you found this case as eye-opening as we did, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more real courtroom breakdowns, because justice never gets old.